Sundays were made for chaotic hockey. Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and I am here to recap the game that was between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Seattle Kraken on Sunday afternoon. I'm sure if you are a Blackhawks fan like myself, you see a Blackhawks afternoon game on the schedule and you shudder a little bit to yourself because this team is not typically good in them. How many losses have we seen in afternoon hockey involving the team from Chicago? Way too many. Coming off of 2 wins against the San Jose Sharks and then the Detroit Red Wings, this team was trying to change that narrative a bit. Somehow, since this season is not about winning. But let's just jump into talking about how this game went down, because it was, like I said, chaotic. At the beginning of the game, neither team was really getting any sustained pressure. There were a lot of one and dones or dump and chase that didn't turn into anything. That's not to say they were playing poorly. There was just not a whole lot of offensive structure, I will say. But the Seattle Kraken were skating just a bit harder than the Blackhawks, and it did pay off for them early. 5 minutes and 46 seconds into the first period, the Blackhawks have the puck in the offensive zone. It gets back to Jack Johnson at the left point, and he kind of falls over while backhanding the puck deep toward the net. Unfortunately for Johnson, one of his teammates was not standing in front of the net, and the Seattle Kraken got the puck and sent it the other way for a 3-on-1 rush with only Seth Jones back. Kuhlman passed the puck from the right circle through Seth Jones to the left side of the ice to Morgan Geekie, who was taking the puck toward the net. Alex Stalock committed to Geekie with the puck, assuming he was going to take the shot, but instead, Morgan Geekie decided to not take the shot and passed the puck back to his trailer, Jared McCann, and the puck went right through Patrick Kane as he made that pass. So with pucks going through Seth Jones and through Patrick Kane, and Alex Stalock committed to Morgan Geekie, once Jared McCann got the puck, he had a wide open cage to score on, and he did not miss. 1-0 Seattle. And of course, as they always say, the shift after a goal is scored is always very important, so Luke Richardson sends out that third line of Philip Kurashev, Sam Lafferty, and Jason Dickinson, because they've just been lighting the world on fire for the past week for the Blackhawks. And while they don't get a goal of their own here, they do have a very strong shift, keeping the puck in Seattle's zone. But 7 minutes and 31 seconds into the first period, so just roughly 2 minutes after Seattle had scored their first goal, the Kraken try to get the puck into the offensive zone, but Jack Johnson is able to come up with it, and he skates it behind his net while his line mates go for a change. Easy peasy, simple play that happens about 1,000,000 times per game. But as he's trying to break it out, he sends it up the right wall to Seth Jones, and as Seth gets the puck, Jordan Eberle pressures him. He's able to strip the puck from Seth before he can get a handle on it, sending it to the middle of the ice to Andre Burakovsky, who is absolutely all alone. And Burakovsky just rips that puck into the net. 2-0 Seattle. 2 goals on 4 shots is not looking so hot. You can say that Stalock definitely overcommitted on the first one, where he probably shouldn't have, and maybe would have been able to save Jared McCann's shot had he not done that. But on the second one, with Burakovsky all alone in the middle of the ice right in front of him, we can't put the blame on the goaltender for that one. The Hawks were having a rough start to the game. The scoring chances were 4-0 in favor of Seattle 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. And Chicago was definitely struggling to clear the puck out of their own end, especially that first line of Kane, Athanasiou, and Domi. They were getting hemmed one too many times in their own defensive zone. But this Chicago team has been able to claw their way back from 2-goal deficits in the 2 games prior to this matchup against Seattle. So even though it was an afternoon game that are typically horrible for the Blackhawks, you just kind of felt that maybe they would have an offensive push at some point. And we did see the beginning sparks of that when Patrick Kane had the puck in the defensive zone, and he was able to send a beautiful stretch pass to Andreas Athanasiou, who turned on the Jets once again, using his speed to drive to the net, but he was tangled up with a defender and no goal. And even though he didn't score, it's good to see those chances coming, especially with the team down 2-0, where it would be easy to just give up and write this game off and just try to kill time so you can go back home and take a nap or something. But Patrick Kane, being the hockey genius that he is, took a hooking penalty with 3 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the first period because Patrick knows that his team is better shorthanded. Or that's what I was trying to tell myself, at least, so this thing didn't just spiral completely out of control. And oh my goodness. 17 minutes and 4 seconds into the first period, as the Blackhawks are killing a penalty, Sam Lafferty clears the puck down to the other end of the ice. Vince Dunn, a defender for the Kraken, goes and retrieves it and tries to skate the puck out of his own zone to get something set up on the power play. But Jujhar Khaira was having none of that. He poked the puck off of Vince Dunn's stick at Seattle's defensive blue line, and he was able to then corral the puck and start skating it in to the Blackhawks' offensive zone. From the top of the left circle, Jujhar Khaira passes that puck to Colin Blackwell in the center of the ice, his teammate on the penalty kill, who had joined him in pressuring Seattle's breakout. As Blackwell gets the puck, both of those guys continue skating toward the net, and with Martin Jones committing to Colin Blackwell and Jaden Schwartz diving out trying to knock the puck away from Colin Blackwell, he was smart enough to look back at his teammate and send the puck back through the center of the ice to Jujhar Khaira, who was able to get a stick on it and just tap it into the wide open cage. 2-1 Seattle. And the Blackhawks had another short-handed goal. I don't know what is happening. This is absolute madness. But like I said, Patrick Kane just knew that his teammates played better short-handed, so he went to the box to give him a chance. But of course, since the Blackhawks scored on the penalty kill, that doesn't bring Patrick Kane back out of the box because Seattle would have to score for that to happen. So they still have to go back to killing a penalty, and this is when Alex Stalock comes up huge with some big stops on the penalty kill after Jujhar Khaira scores. And you can definitely feel a shift in momentum happening. Almost immediately after that penalty expires, Alexander Wennberg takes an offensive zone interference penalty against Jack Johnson, sending the Blackhawks to the power play. 19 minutes and 18 seconds into the first period, with time winding down and with the Blackhawks on the power play, Taylor Radish dumps the puck down deep on the entry into the zone. Tyler Johnson and Patrick Kane end up behind the net trying to retrieve the puck. Tyler Johnson wins the battle with Carson Soucy behind the net. Patrick Kane does come up with the puck and he sends it back up to the point to Seth Jones. Jones walks the blue line a little bit more toward the center of the ice, opening up the defense a little bit, and is able to send the puck back to Patrick Kane to control it where he does best, on his right half wall area there on the power play. And at this point it just looks like they're playing catch because Patrick Kane sends it back up to the point to Seth Jones. But this time Jones winds up for a massive one-time shot as that pass is in his wheelhouse, but Martin Jones makes the stop. Unfortunately for Martin Jones, the rebound popped right out to Tyler Johnson, who was just planted at the bottom of the left circle. He had a wide open cage to shoot into, and he also did not miss. 2-2. If you're keeping track at home, that means this game was tied. Again, the Chicago Blackhawks go down 2-0 and claw their way back. And this time it all happened within the first period. Seattle's definitely frustrated at that point, and with about 4 seconds left in the period, Andre Burakovsky is sent off to the box. Somebody should have told him you cannot hook players with your stick, but apparently they didn't, so he would serve that penalty time. But the Blackhawks could not score in the final 4 seconds, so the first period ended with these two teams tied 2-2. 3-2. But Seattle was leading in shots on goal, 12-8. If they needed some sort of feel-good vibes to take into the intermission after coughing up a 2-goal lead. Like I said, neither team was really owning the game to start, but Seattle was skating better and passing better and getting some more chances, and that paid off for them early. But Alex Stalock came up with some huge saves when they were in that 2-0 hole to keep his team in the game, and they just kept working. That third line was solid once again, and that fourth line of Jujhar, Khaira, Colin Blackwell, and Mackenzie Entwistle also had a very strong first period. Even before Khaira and Blackwell combined on the shorthanded goal, they were maybe having their best period of the season so far for the Blackhawks. But that's only one period, you have to move on. On to the second period. The Blackhawks basically have a full power play to start the middle frame. They're able to get a clean zone entry. Seth Jones has the puck at the point. This time, Kane is planted at the left point in the offensive zone. Seth Jones sends it over to Kane, who then skates up the wall a little bit and then sends a nifty backhanded pass back to Seth Jones at the point. Are you sensing a trend here? This power play is running a lot through those two passing back and forth to each other. Seth settles the puck down and then leans into a heavy wrist shot toward the net. Martin Jones once again makes the save. Jones was not letting Jones score, but he did give up another rebound, and Max Domi had gotten body position on Jamie Alexiak, so he was able to get a stick on the puck first and bat it in to the, tell me if you've heard this before, wide open cage. Martin Jones was trying to dive back to make the stop, but he did not. Max Domi was on the board. The Blackhawks had the 3-2 lead. That is 2 power play goals and 1 shorthanded goal on the afternoon so far. The Blackhawks special teams definitely showed up to this one. And that came only 32 seconds into the middle frame, so the Blackhawks had the lead early. But 51 seconds into the second period, Matty Beniers broke the puck into the offensive zone down the right wing. He found Carson Soucy entering the zone up the middle, sent the puck over to him, and as Connor Murphy was sprawling out in front of Soucy trying to block anything that may have possibly happened because he was the only defender back, Carson Soucy sent the puck over to the left circle to Jaden Schwartz, who also had a wide open cage because Alex Stalock had also committed to Soucy just like Connor Murphy had, but Schwartz is not able to shoot the puck into the wide open net because the puck was kind of bouncing on him all over the place, but he sends it toward the net. Stalock was trying to recover. By this point, there were 4 Blackhawks nearby. The puck went off of Stalock's stick, and he may have almost intercepted it, but he wasn't very strong on the stick. I don't know if he was afraid of redirecting it into the net himself. So the puck went through the blue paint, and even though he was around and there were 4 Blackhawks in the general vicinity, so was Matty Beniers. The puck got to him first, unfortunately for the Blackhawks, and he poked it in to the wide open cage. This is becoming a theme. So now, less than a minute into the second period, after the Blackhawks had taken the lead on the power play, the game was once again tied 3-3. That was definitely a goal where Stalock's chaos bit him a bit. But then almost immediately after that goal, Tyler Johnson must have been remembering back to the first period when Patrick Kane was sent off to the box and then the Blackhawks scored shorthanded. So Johnson said, maybe I should try that, and he was sent off to the penalty box. Sam Lafferty, of course, was very active on his first shorthanded shift. He wanted to let Matty Beniers know that he saw him, he saw that last goal that was scored, and he wasn't going to make his life easy, and he laid a big hit on him right next to the benches. Both of them were okay, but it was a pretty big hit. And man, Matty Beniers, what a player that kid is and is going to become. He still still a rookie, and he looks dominant out there at times for Seattle. What a great pickup for them in the draft. But Alex Stalock comes up with a few big saves on the penalty kill, no harm done. Then the Blackhawks get a power play from Athanasiou using his speed again to drive to the net, this time drawing a tripping penalty. They couldn't really get anything going there, and with 58 seconds left in the power play for the Blackhawks, Seth Jones took a 4-minute high-sticking penalty as he knocked some teeth out of Tanev's mouth. That certainly couldn't have felt good, and it definitely didn't feel good for Seth, who was now in the box for hopefully 4 minutes. So we had some 4-on-4 hockey, and the Blackhawks got a pretty good chance on it with a 2-on-1 rush between Jonathan Toews and Philipp Kurashev. Unfortunately, Kurashev shot it wide, but that line was also chugging along all game. Jonathan Toews, the captain of the Blackhawks, with another strong game early in this season, and you just felt like that line was going to break through at some point. Neither team is able to score on 4-on-4, so then it moves on to the Seattle Kraken power play, and the Blackhawks penalty killers do a fantastic job keeping on the pressure. I'm pretty sure they spent most of that time on the double minor in the neutral zone or in the defensive zone of the Seattle Kraken, and the least amount of time possible in their own defensive zone. And if you're doing that on the penalty kill, you are doing a fantastic job. I mean, as long as the puck doesn't go in on the few chances that they get. And it didn't. They killed off the 4-minute minor. Seth Jones comes out of the box, no harm done, thanks his teammates on the bench for bailing him out there. But 10 minutes and 43 seconds into the second period, Jared McCann broke into the Seattle offensive zone down the right wing. He pulled up at the half wall looking at his options. He found the trailer Vince Dunn coming into the zone up the middle of the ice, hit him with the pass once he crossed the blue line, and he basically had a wide open road just directly to the net, nobody in his way except the goaltender. Vince Dunn settled the puck down in the slot, and 3 Blackhawks defenders were around him, like reaching out their stick like they're going to be able to do anything. Spoiler alert, they weren't. And Dunn just leans into his shot, ripping a wrister glove side on Alex Stalock. 4-3 Seattle. Once again, the Blackhawks are trailing in this game, but they still have about half a game left to come back. And they're only down 1 goal this time as opposed to 2. And that line of Tyler Johnson, Jonathan Toews, and Taylor Raddysh definitely gets some great chances trying to tie this thing up. Tyler Johnson gets a chance all alone in front of Martin Jones as Seattle was trying to break the puck out of their defensive end, and Toews and Raddysh just challenged that puck, causing it to bounce directly into the slot where Tyler Johnson was just parked. Unfortunately for the Blackhawks, Martin Jones came up with a save. And then you had a beautiful tic-tac-toe play from Tyler Johnson at the left point, passing it to Taylor Raddysh in the middle of the ice, who touched past it over to Jonathan Toews at the bottom of the left circle, who redirected it on the net, but Martin Jones came up with the stop there too. That was definitely some awesome creativity and some nice playmaking that we did not see from the Blackhawks against the Red Wings. That line was just feeling it, and you just wanted so badly for them to be able to break through after all of the chances they were generating. But also some credit to the Blackhawks defenders. Jake McCabe was having a very strong game, breaking up a lot of plays right in front of Stalock. And Connor Murphy, with about 6 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the second period, came up with a really big shot block. It was timely because Seattle had gotten some sustained offensive zone pressure there, and that caused the puck to go out of play, and also caused his shot blocker on his skate to fall off. Patrick Kane was trying to set up a lot of chances, but so far this season, a lot of his passes just haven't been connecting with Domi and Athanasiou. They really need to grow that chemistry between that line if Luke Richardson's going to keep it together. But of course, they are all new line mates, and Patrick Kane is trying to adjust to life without Alex DeBrincat, who basically just read his mind on every play. Then, once again, that Toews line is out there, and you have Tyler Johnson driving to the net and just out-muscling Shane Wright to get there. And I don't know what it says about the kid, but that was really the only time I noticed Shane Wright while watching this game. But I'm also not going to put it on the rookie because from what I've seen and from last night's game, he is not getting a lot of ice time over there in Seattle. I don't really know what the coaching staff thinks that they're doing, giving him about like 6 minutes per game. I don't know who that's good for, but it can't be good for Shane. Anywho, about 4 minutes left in the second period, that Toews line firing absolutely everything toward the net. There are a bunch of shot blocks by the Seattle defenders, and then some very timely stops by Martin Jones to keep the puck out of the net so frustratingly for us. Just under 3 minutes, Blackwell and Entwistle in front of the net for a great chance. Martin Jones makes the stop. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. Alex Stalock makes a huge stop, that being on Jordan Eberle, and as Matty Beniers is rushing toward the net to try to pick up any loose change, Alex Stalock turns into sassy goalie mode and swipes that puck away over to the left wall. He was sick of being scored on and he wasn't gonna let it happen again. I just love when goalies turn sassy. And sometimes they do so rightfully because their defenders just decide to leave their brains on the bench instead of bringing them onto the ice for their shift, because with 15 seconds left in the period, Philip Roos turns the puck over right in front of Alex Stalock. He's trying to send a pass to Seth Jones, his defensive partner, but there's a Kraken right there intercepting it right in front of Alex Stalock, and out goes the diving Seth Jones to try to knock that puck away. And he does. Good job, Seth. You saved your goalie there. Stalock didn't have to come up with a save, but his blood pressure probably spiked a little bit in that moment. But no harm done, at least there, and these two teams go into the second intermission with the Seattle Kraken leading 4-3. And they were leading the shots on goal 23-22, which the Blackhawks caught up a bit. They were trailing by much more than just one at the beginning of the second period. But that second just saw too many penalties, too much chaos, no real defensive structure. It was very high risk, high reward play for both teams, except Seattle got rewarded more, which resulted in them taking the lead into the second intermission. On to the third period. The third line comes out to start the third period because why not get some energy into the lineup early in the final frame, because then the Kane line comes out and they get hemmed in their own zone. But my goodness, Jared Tenorti is a large man. At one point he was down on one knee with his legs spread out and his arms spread out, just taking up so much space in front of the net. It was kind of funny looking. He looked like an 18-wheeler out there, just, you will not get past me. And another Blackhawks defenseman, Philip Roos, after having that horrendous turnover with 15 seconds left in the second period, he showed off some nifty stick work in the third to get around some forecheckers to get the puck out of the Blackhawks zone. It looked like Patrick Kane out there just dangling the puck around. The Toews line came out and once again they were just wreaking havoc on the Seattle defenders. If there's anything you could say about the Blackhawks in this game, it's that they were doing a very good job of driving to the net. And that's definitely not something that we always see from this team, who can have a habit of just staying out to the perimeter and getting a bunch of nothing shots toward the net. But Martin Jones had to come up with some massive stops. And it was really promising to see from the team if they are willing to drive to the net and really get bullied in doing so, because obviously the defenders don't want the attackers there. That's a good habit to get into. But Seattle was also doing a pretty good job of driving to the net. With just under 12 and a half minutes to go in the last frame, Alex Stalock came up with 2 consecutive big stops, one on Eberle, one on Beniers. Those two had a pretty good game for Seattle on Sunday. But then, 12 minutes and 57 seconds into the third period, the puck is in Seattle's defensive zone and Taylor Radish rushes in there to be a menace on the forecheck. He wins the battle for the puck in the right corner, sends it around behind the net where Jonathan Toews dropped down low to retrieve it in the left corner. He threw it toward the front of the net. It bounced off of bodies and sticks or anything that was just around that general area and bounced out to the right wall Taylor Radish once again found it and went over to retrieve it. He sent it back behind the net to where Jonathan Toews was standing, and as he's surveying his options from behind Martin Jones, he sees Tyler Johnson out in the slot. The captain, Jonathan Toews, passes it to Tyler Johnson, who is wide open, and T-Johnny does not miss. He rips that puck into the net. Tie game 4-4. That line finally broke through after being dangerous all game. And then 13 seconds later, after the Blackhawks had won the ensuing faceoff, they got it down deep into the Seattle zone. Lafferty and Kurashev were behind the net trying to battle for the puck, but Seattle came up with it. But they didn't have it for long because they immediately turned it over to Jason Dickinson, who was standing in the right circle. As soon as that puck comes near him, he quickly picks it up and rips it blocker side on Martin Jones, and oh my god, the Blackhawks have the lead! 5-4 Chicago. 13 seconds after Tyler Johnson had tied the game at 4. The Toews line finally broke through. Luke Richardson, being apparently the genius that he is, immediately sends out that monstrous third line, and 13 seconds later they have the lead. That is twice in the game the Blackhawks fell behind and clawed back to get a lead in this game. And one thing that maybe goes a little unnoticed in all of the madness that was Jason Dickinson scoring 13 seconds after Tyler Johnson, Philip Kurashev had some really nice awareness on that play. As soon as Seattle turned the puck over, he went right in front of Martin Jones and set up a really nice screen. Had Kurashev not been there, maybe Martin Jones is able to pick up the puck a little better and make a really nice stop on Dickinson. But Kurashev was in front of him and causing him to have to try to find the puck and making his job hard, and it was, because the puck went past him. That was just a very nice little play from Philip Kurashev. And again, it could be a little lost in that madness because 13 seconds and the Blackhawks have the lead after they were down. This team just keeps pressing. And Seattle tried to keep pressing. Tanev had a nice chance when he rushed down the left wing and put a shot on net. But Alex Stalock came out to challenge him and he flashed that glove up, taking the chance away. And what was really nice to see was once the Blackhawks got the lead, they didn't just fall back into a defensive shell. They just kept going forward. That's something we haven't seen from this team in forever. They just keep pressing, keep killing off the clock. Seattle is able to empty their net, and Vince Dunn gets another great chance, but Alex Stalock finds it through all sorts of traffic, sticks out that glove, and snags it. And in the final minute of this game, the Hawks players were standing in front of absolutely everything. They saw how their goaltender bailed them out and was able to keep them in this one so they could claw back and then get the lead. And they knew that they had to bail him out and make his job a bit easier there in that final minute so this game did not go to overtime. And it didn't. The Blackhawks won 5-4. What a chaotic game for a Sunday afternoon. Seattle did come away with the lead in shots on goal, 34-27. On the power play, the Blackhawks were 2 for 3. Meanwhile, Seattle was 0 for 4. That penalty kill just wow. The shot blocks were 15-10 in favor of Chicago. And then you have the hits. Those were also in Chicago's favor, 40-8. The Chicago Blackhawks out-hit the Seattle Kraken 40-8. What is this team? And 70% of the faceoffs were won by the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm really just running out of words for how they keep doing this early in the season. When it comes to the goaltenders, Martin Jones had a decent game. He did come up with some massive stops for his team, but he only made 22 of 27 saves, and that's good for an .815 save percentage, but I don't think those numbers are really indicative of the game that he had. Much like Alex Stalock, who stopped 30 of 34, that was good for an .882 save percentage, and while his chaos bit him a bit more in this game than it has in the previous two, he still came up with some massive stops for his team. I don't don't think you can pin this game on either of the goaltenders. I mean, maybe both of them did overcommit to shots because, as we talked about, the wide open cage was definitely a theme. But with the way their defenders were playing and the fact that they really did come up with some massive in tight stops, I just kind of feel for them that they didn't come away with better numbers than that. But it is what it is, and now we have to move on to the next one. The Chicago Blackhawks take on the Florida Panthers tomorrow. The Panthers are coming into that game with a record of 4-1-1. This is a team that has given Chicago fits the past 2 seasons. Of course, the year before last, we were stuck with them in the Central Division due to the weird COVID alignment. When it comes to their top 3 scorers, number 1, you have new acquisition Matthew Tkachuk. He's leading the team with 3 goals and 5 assists. Up next, you have Colin White, 2 goals and 3 assists. And third, you have Eetu Luostarinen, 2 goals and 3 assists. Outside of Matthew Tkachuk, tell me that you would have predicted those top 3 to be their leading scorers. It is still early, they've only played 6 games, and I know scoring's a little wonky for every team right now, but that definitely made me laugh when I looked it up. When it comes to the goalies, Sergei Bobrovsky has played 4 of these 6 games. He's got a record of 2-1-1 with a .916 save percentage. Spencer Knight has played 2 of these 6 games. He has a 2-0 record and a .904 save percentage. So I'm not sure which goaltender the Blackhawks are going to see tomorrow. It looks like Bobrovsky, but you never know. I'm just guessing that because he has played more of the games and they won't be coming in on the second half of a back-to-back, but it could go either way. For the Blackhawks, we will have Alex Stalock back in net. He's rocking a 2-1 record with a .938 save percentage. Our leading scorer is Tyler Johnson with 2 goals and 3 assists. Those 2 goals coming in this game against Seattle. And then you have Sam Lafferty tied with him with 2 goals and 3 assists. And third, you have Jason Dickinson with 2 goals and 2 assists. What a sneaky pickup by Kyle Davidson. But that is going to be all from me in this video. If you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. There's links to absolutely all of the places that you can find us, as well as our new merch shop, FromCenterIce.shop. There is a brand new Alex Stalock Joyride design that Johnny Rockford came up with. You can put it on a shirt and a variety of other things. Go check that out. I'm in love with it. If you are more of a social media person, all of the links for those platforms are down in the description, so you can go ahead and give us a follow. And while you're here, subscribe to this channel if you aren't yet. Give this video a like, that would make me so very happy. But all of that being said, thank you all so very much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you, and let's see what brand of chaos they have for us on Tuesday. I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye guys.